When I go to Sacramento, I will pump up Sacramento.
Some say the news is fake. Others say it's real. These two don't have the time to check. Instead, Turner Sparks and Michael Ira Kaplan turn to comics stationed around the globe to be their eyewitness reporters so that you can know what's really going on. This is Lost in America.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Lost in America, episode 245. My name's Turner Sparks.
I'm Mordechai Kaplan.
Yes.
Shana Tova.
Coming to you on Rosh Hashanah.
Yes.
You can find me on tour all this fall. I'm going to be, check it out, turnersparks.com. I will be in Dallas, Texas, September 16th with Andrew Heaton, Professor Andrew Heaton, I was going to say. I will also be all over Texas, all over Oklahoma, Ardmore, Oklahoma, September 14th,
Wow.
and then out to California, November 10th, Sacramento Punchline, December 3rd and 4th, Alameda Comedy Club in Oakland, California, and between that, a million other shows. So go to turnersparks.com. You can find Kaplan at Cap in America on all social media platforms. You can find him in about an hour at Temple.
I will be at synagogue. I just want to get that clear. That I'm not.
Yes.
I'm still going to heaven, right? I'm here. I'm wearing my tallis. I wanted to show you that I'm ready to go.
You guys have to watch this on YouTube.
Watch this on
Kaplan has
YouTube.
the whole
I'm wearing the
outfit on.
kippah. I don't do this every time we interview a German, but this time in particular. So I'm going to get out the door. I'm going to run to synagogue. I'm going to pray. The first thing I'm going to have to do is pray, apologize for this. But it's like that's what you're supposed to do because you're supposed to apologize for all our sins for the year. That's what we do in Rosh Hashanah to get into the book of life. So it's great to have a sin right before you go, a fresh one.
Yeah.
Fresh in the mind.
One last sin. And
One last sin. The best day to do it.
Can you turn your mic down just a little bit, Kaplan? I'm afraid it's peaking. But so, one last sin before you go. Kaplan has the yarmulke on. This is really fantastic. And all those words you said in between, it means like a neck scarf, like a handkerchief.
It's got the little, this is what,
So
what
we're
I
good
wear
to go.
every day, every episode.
Today we're going to be talking about the German election. We have Sonia Picard coming up in just a minute to tell us all about that. So Merkel's out, and they're gonna by the end of this month, and there'll be a new chancellor in Germany, and then they'll be doing stuff. I don't know, in Europe, whatever happens over there, they'll figure it out. Point is, we have new Patreon subscribers, Kaplan.
Yeah.
Patreon.com. If you like this show, go to patreon.com/Lost in America. For $5 a month, you get me and Kaplan 3 extra times a week doing our straight comedy podcast live from the bunker. We got all our bunker babes over there listening. We have a bidding war going on over there.
An arms race.
What happened? We had Will Prechuck, our listener, go to $30 a month. We didn't even know you could give us $30 a month. We thought it topped out at $20. Apparently you can. He gave us $30 a month a couple weeks ago, and then Dennis Owens went to $31, and then now Sugar Brady has gone to $31.01. So if you want to be the highest Patreon subscriber,
the top dog,
$31.02 is the asking price.
Go $31.02 or go nuts. Go 30. Go give us $36 today. Raise the bar
for the Jewish holiday, right?
Exactly, double high.
What year is it right now? Because it's the Jewish New Year. What's the year? What year?
I don't know.
Whoa,
my kids were like,
"Happy
2022." I'm like, no, that's not how it works. It's not the. It's 57,
It's
80 maybe. I don't know. I got to look it up. 5,000.
Oh
yeah,
boy,
what year
Kaplan.
is this? I'm off to a rough start. I was going to go. It's like spoiler alert. I'm going to let the rabbi tell me when I get there. I don't want to look it up.
It's 58. First of all, it's not even 57. I went on Facebook and just saw someone else posting it. It's like 58 something, 20.
Oh, it's 57.82. 57.82.
Point is, give us $5,782.
Or $57.82 if you're a
No, the higher one.
All right.
Kaplan, you're the worst businessman. Okay. Moving on, everybody. All right, so Germany's having an election. Kaplan, what do you know about this election coming up?
I know. So Merkel, as we discussed in a previous episode.
Wait, stop.
Angela Merkel.
Say that again?
Merkel.
There you go.
Like Urkel. We're going off to a good start here. So she's stepping out after 16 years, so they're very big shoes to fill, right? But it seems like the guy from her party is not exciting people. He went to visit a flood and he started cracking up. Something about floods make him laugh. I heard that so he's doing poor in the polls, and it seems like the left of center party is doing better, but then they have a parliament. So they got to form coalitions, which we know can always be messy. So they might have to involve the Green Party. They might have to involve some like Communist Party. It seems like a whole mess over there. I don't know.
There's some great parties. I read one. There's a hip hop party.
There's a hip hop party. The best thing is they also have combos with the party. So like they have color combos. They said.
Oh, like a remix.
Well, no, it's like whichever parties they get together. They call the coalition based on the colors of the party. So
like one's like a stoplight party because it's like red.
It's a red and green,
yellow or something.
Yeah, I'm over the tie-dye party. I
like it. I'm excited. Merkel's been there for 16 years. That's a long time.
It's a long reign.
You could stay that long.
Well, she's like Franklin Roosevelt, or we don't have them anymore. We have term limits. 16 years. He was in 16 years. She's in better shape, right? She's leaving in better shape, so we'll say.
What Jewish year did she come into office?
She in 57, 66, of course. We all know.
Everybody knows. So she's out. I don't know if she's out on purpose or if
I think she retired. I think she stepped away. She said, "You know what? I'm very go out on top.
Hang up the boots."
She's accomplished everything. She brought in a lot of immigrants. Nothing. She saw us through many crises, sermons through multiple crises. And it's time to go and have a few drinks and relax, retire. So she likes to let loose.
So her party, the other thing I learned, I think we learned this last time, but her party is not, in America, we see like, oh, it's a woman running it. They must be liberal, right?
Yeah, she's the
Turns
conservative
out
party.
That isn't. So it's like more right of center. And that's confusing to the American brain.
Our
just
women
right off the start.
Our women and Republicans, but yes, confusing to some.
No, not really. I mean, who?
Sarah Palin.
No one cares.
Well, Margaret Thatcher, but she's not American either, so that's a bad example. But
if they are, they're nuts. Like that's whatever Marjorie
Michelle
Green,
Bachmann or whatever. Yeah. So
anyway, and then there's this. The left party is run by like a boring, like a finance guy.
He doesn't drink.
So it's all backwards. Our finance guy, our boring finance guys would be on the right. Anyway, that's all I know. And then somehow the Green Party has to get in. Sonia Picard, we're very excited to have you on the show. You're in Vienna. You're German, but you're living currently in Austria.
Establish that.
I don't know
if you speak
what
freely.
happened, if that's on purpose or got kicked out. You have a solo show coming up next week. It's in German. It's German cabaret is the art form. It's a style of stand-up. It's called A Sparrow, a Wish, and an Uprising. Ooh. Sonia, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for doing it. So what did we get right and what did we get wrong?
Yeah, nice little summary you did there. It was actually not so bad, I must say. So we have 3 chancellor candidates at the moment, and all of them suck. And so you basically just have to vote for a party that doesn't have a candidate. That's really the only thing you can do at the moment to feel good about yourself. So, no.
Are there parties that don't have candiets?
Yes, sure. I mean, we have 20
That's an interesting
parties.
strategy.
It's
okay.
I mean, it's always been like that in Germany. You always have a lot of different parties, and then of course you have those 2 major ones that have been ruling ever since. But we have a lot of options. We even have an anarchist party.
Nice.
All right.
They I would guess they probably don't have a candidate.
No,
right?
They do have a candidate. I don't think they even got to choose a color. The only promise that they ever make is that they're going to give everybody who voted for them a crate of beer, and I think they always keep that promise. Ooh. So, yeah.
Nice.
They find out everyone who voted for them, and they go.
Something
they
like
better
that.
not
There's also
buy the beer.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
True.
They better steal it, right? Or else they're not true anarchists.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so let's go through the top to start out. Let's go through the top candidates. So we have. Yeah. So Merkel's party is the Christian Democratic Union, correct?
CDU.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So they're very conservative, I would say. I wouldn't say some people might call them far right, but I would disagree. They're more conservative.
Okay, yeah, everything we read is that they're center right.
Yeah, pretty much.
And what's going on with Armin Laschet? He's the new.
He's the guy.
He's the person taking over the party.
Sorry, Armin Laschet. Okay, yeah, he's the one taking over.
Oh boy, Armin Gilliam.
It's like, that is a weird pronunciation, but I guess, yeah. Armin Laschet is the candidate for that party, and yeah, he made a lot of mistakes. He had, really high rankings at the beginning, and then he fucked it all up by just, doing stupid things like laughing in the back of an interview during a flood crisis, and it really felt like, oh, you're not taking things seriously here, and you really should. So yeah, he's.
I mean, floods can be funny though. In defense,
if you're not involved, for sure. No, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they caught him in a bad moment, but then again, yeah, it's kind of your job not to be caught in a bad moment. And he was on TV the other day in one of those which is normally a duel between the two candidates, but now we have three, so it's a trial or trio. I don't know how you would pronounce it. Even the Germans don't know how to pronounce it. So they had a discussion there, and he was talking about like, oh, don't you guys feel the wind of change that is going through Germany? And in these times, we have to stand still. And he just completely fucked it up. Where it was like, no, if you want to change, then maybe you shouldn't stand still. So, but he was like, confusing going for stability on the one hand and for change on the other hand, and he didn't really get it right, so it was a bit of an embarrassing situation there. Yeah, that's Armin Laschet.
Yeah, it's tough for these kind of people because on one hand, change sounds cool. If you're a candidate, you always want to say change. You're like, we need change. No matter, and then you can just say that. You don't have to say what the change is. You just say, we need change. But then if you're in his position, you're taking over a party that's been in power for 16 years. You don't really want change. You want everything to stay the same because change means that you wouldn't be the party in power anymore, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's also a big problem with him. Really announcing what he's trying to do in the future, and at the same time not talking shit about Merkel, who's just been around for so long and basically been his boss all this time. So, yeah, it's a little bit difficult for him.
So how is her popularity, Merkel? Like going out, is she like loved by everybody? Is she divisive? Does half the people hate her, half the people love her, or how does it work?
I think it's a bit difficult to say because she's more loved than you would think. I think that for a lot of people, it was like, I mean, she is very much on the right. And for a lot of leftist liberal people, of course, they are not fine with her politics regarding the unemployment situation, also gay marriage, issues like that, because she was always very conservative there. But of course, she was such a hero during the refugee crisis of 2015. Where she just basically gave everybody a chance to come to Germany and live a life here. And I think people were super happy about that and also surprised. Nobody thought that this would happen with a conservative chancellor. And then she just showed her social abilities, I would say. So, and she's quite loved because of that. And also because I think that she has so much integrity and people feel like she's the least corrupt person to ever be in power, and that's kind of a nice thing that you don't really want to give up. And also, if you look at the alternatives, you know.
So why is she leaving? We had some guesses, but were we anywhere close?
Okay. She's tired. I mean, can you imagine 16 years? Wow, that is so long to be under this constant pressure. I mean, I already feel like I'm 36 now. I feel like, oh God, I would be too old for this job. And she's, I don't know, late 60s or something. And after 16 years, I think. And then also, I think what just was the worst thing for her to happen at the end of all of this was the Corona crisis. And to constantly be under attack because of that. And I feel like it's just, you're just going to throw in the towel at a certain point.
So is this the end of a term, or did she just call it like in the middle, like I'm done, I'm out, let's new election?
It's the end of a term.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
were people not happy with her with coronavirus, you were saying, or with the way she was handling things? Or you're just saying that
I mean, was anybody happy with anything concerning the coronavirus?
True. Good point.
I mean, you're going to be under attack no matter what. So, I just feel like whatever you do, you're going to piss people off. And I think what a big problem was here, I have no idea what that's like in the States, actually. Because I would say, Germany, in comparison to Austria, is such a big country. But smaller than the States, obviously. But what we do a lot is we have this federalism problem, I would say, is that everything is state law, really everything. So it sometimes feels like the entire country as a whole doesn't really know where it's going, because everything, like every state makes their own decisions. And then during a crisis like that, it's unbelievable. I have friends who worked in the same band, for example, and two of them lived in one state, and they got funding during the Corona time, and they got money to make up for the money they lost. And then the person living on the border to the next state, 20 kilometers from there, didn't get anything. And it's like, you have the same job, but your state laws are different. So, yeah. And I think that's a huge problem that she was also facing, where everybody was asking stuff of her that she couldn't really do because it wasn't her choice to make.
Yeah, that's exact same thing happened here. So, for example, in New York, if you want to go to a restaurant right now or go to a comedy show, you have to show a card that says you're vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
It's a city law.
And then in Texas, I'm going to Texas next week to do comedy shows. It's illegal to ask someone to wear a mask.
Let alone a vaccine card.
Forget the vaccine card.
I mean, you can wear a mask, but you can't make them wear a mask. People are allowed to wear one.
If someone comes into your restaurant or your comedy club, it is illegal to ask them to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my God.
different ends
It's the
of
same thing here. Whether it was Trump or whether it's Biden, they can't do much in that sense. The states all decide for themselves.
Federalism as well.
Okay. Yeah, I would think so, because also with it being such a big country, of course, it makes sense to divide it up into smaller pieces and say, okay, you take care of your population here, but if it's about issues like that, where it's like, this is just
tricky.
Ridiculous.
It's the way, I didn't actually totally even get that until this all came up. I was like, wow, I didn't realize how much power the states had. So Armin Laschet, or however I'm saying it, I just said it French. I don't know why. So all we know about him so far is he laughs
at
floods. Flood, and he laughs. He thinks that's hilarious. People are dying. Ha ha ha! So funny. And then he kind of just wants to sort of continue on with Merkel's, however she governed, which is fine, except for he also wants change. One of his main competitor is the Social Democratic Party, Olaf Scholz. Am I saying that right? He's the leader of that party?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you're saying it right. Yeah.
Bang, I nailed it. And then Olaf, what's his deal? What's going on with Olaf? Because he was like nothing, 3 or 4 or 5 months ago, and now he's in first place?
I think it was quite obvious already, I think a year ago, that he would be running for chancellor for the next elections. So, but even back then, people said, God, he's the most boring person ever in the history of politics. And he's just, every time I see him on TV, I'm like, I forgot what he looked like. Yeah. And I'm going to forget again. It's just, yeah, it's almost like he...
Like after Merkel, I mean, Merkel was not, she wasn't like made for, she wasn't a big TV, like, hey, woo, wah, wah, look at me, everybody person.
Yeah, that's true.
He's boring compared to her even.
Yeah, but she wasn't really boring because she did have a personality. It was just not a very media compelling personality, but it was a personality. He is just whatever. And he also he just finds himself in the position where both of the other candidates fucked it up so bad for themselves that he's just basically in the middle of this thinking, okay, just don't do anything wrong. So better don't do anything.
Yes.
Because you know.
Win by default. Just don't say
This
anything.
was the Biden strategy as well. Remember, he didn't like.
Yeah, but Biden.
Joe Biden didn't even really like go do. Well,
He didn't leave his basement.
because of coronavirus, and he's 112 years old. He never left his basement, and so it was just stay inside, don't be on TV ever, and let the other people lose.
But Biden also has a personality where he can say the wrong thing if you let him talk. Whereas this guy sounds like he
that's
just
true.
puts you to sleep when he talks. Right? He doesn't even.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't even say anything.
Yeah, it's super hard to listen. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You're just listening to him on TV. You're like, you've been talking for 5 minutes. I don't remember a thing.
He's like the opposite of Trump, really, when it comes out.
Is it that he doesn't have points? He doesn't have there's no like point in what he's saying, or like he's meandering, or how is it?
No, there's no point really. It's really. I guess he's a very good representative of the Social Democrats in general, because it's like, okay, we're trying to be somewhat on the left, but also we want to be in the government, and so we're just always kind of in between and not really standing for anything and not really going through with the things that we want to stand for. So yeah, and that's really where he finds himself as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I
he's
read
been in
that
the
he wanted to. He wanted to, like, what was it? He wants climate change reform, right? He wants to like fix the climate. But was he the one, or was it the other guy who said not if it impacts the economy?
Yeah. I mean, they all say that.
Oh, they all say that. So that's not
yeah.
necessarily. I mean, it's probably, if you want to fix the climate, it will impact the economy.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's, of course, nothing that anybody would want to say, because
Voters don't
that
like
will
that.
cost you votes. Yeah.
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 Okay, so his strategy is just don't really be much of anything, but it seems to be working. Why is it working? Because he's in first now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe Germany is confused altogether. I have no idea. I think that after 16 years of, I mean, of course, we also have to say it was a big coalition. So it was the Social Democrats with the Conservative Party together. And I think maybe everybody wants to go a little bit more to the left, because there are really pressing issues in Germany that really have to be fixed and haven't been fixed over the past 16 years, especially as far as unemployment is concerned. So I guess that's the thing why everybody's just like, oh, I guess we'll vote for him then.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And the big hope from the Green Party, I don't know, should we talk about that already, or are you guys getting...
Sure,
I don't
yeah,
know
go
what
ahead.
your
Let's
plan
talk
is.
Greens. We're
Okay.
laying it up.
No, there's no
Let's talk
plan.
green.
Whatever you want to do.
Oh, okay. All right,
party
I
you
see.
want
We
to
have a
talk
plan? Kaplan's halfway out the door.
Hold on, I got to do a prayer right now. I got to turn to the west.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's all right. Yeah. Yeah.
the Greens.
So the Greens, who are, if we're honest, the only party that really wants to work against the climate change, and they put up a candidate, which has never happened, and she's the first one now that had an actual chance. And everybody, you know, especially in my leftist artist bubble, was like, yeah, she's a woman. And you know, it's like, have you looked at what she stands for? No, she's a woman. And
Yeah.
you know how it is. So
Totally.
everybody really wanted to vote for her, because everybody loves the Green Party, at least to a certain extent. And it's like, yeah, we definitely need this. And she's also quite young, and it seemed like, yeah, that would be a good choice. So everybody wanted to vote for her. And then she also just destroyed it for herself with like writing a book where she basically copied someone else's work and didn't cite it. And
Plagiarism, yeah.
It's a complete fuck up. And yeah, that happened. And that was already like, it's bad, but maybe we can forgive that. And then it turned out that there was a 5-figure income that she didn't declare. And she just said, oh, I forgot.
Yes.
That happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome to politics.
Yeah. She's a joke-stealing comedian who doesn't pay her taxes. No.
She's not a joke stealer. What was her book about? Normally, if you're a politician, your book is about yourself. So you know, what did she steal about herself? Or is it not a biography?
No, it was not a biography. No, I don't know. I didn't read it, but I think it was just something about her plans for the future Germany. And
she stole the plans from someone
yeah.
Come on, lady.
It was like an environmental. Was it an environmental like policy book or something? Yeah, it's probably like, you know, who has time to? She assumed nobody's going to read the other one anyway, so I can't believe someone caught her.
She probably just translated a Ralph Nader book.
Yeah,
something like that.
I mean, you know, Joe Biden once stole a whole speech from a guy in England, like when he ran for president in the 80s. And he just changed the words like chips to fries and stuff like that. And before the internet, he thought he would get away with it, but then he said football or soccer. No. But yeah, he got busted on that. So, but then he came back and he was president many years later. So there's hope for her in the future.
When she's almost dead, she can run for president.
It was like a stump speech about something and like some story about working class. I don't know. He just like stole from some Labour Party leader in England. I forget the specifics, but he just literally did the entire same theme and everything. And, you know, it's a good speech.
I just like that for a political speech, you would have the words fries and football.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe I'm joking. Working class.
Well, you would in America. So what is? Wow, yeah. So none of these candidates are that great. What do they do campaigning? What does campaigning look like in Germany? You know, here it's like a football stadium, 80,000 people, fireworks,
kissing babies.
Oh man, throwing babies across the room. There's like a lot going on. Everybody's have shirts and hats and America hats. What's it? And usually there's fights in the stands between the two different people. What's it like in Germany? Is it similar to that?
No. I mean, you know, we Germans, we don't really like to raise our flag that much because, you know, patriotism is not...
Slippery slope.
Yeah.
That's Kaplan sitting there in a yarmulke. I see. Yeah, historical reasons. We could just...
Yeah, you know, make Germany great again would not be something that would work here. It's
a little problematic.
Like, no, I was referring to the World Cup we won.
Yeah, I was referring to the West German years when,
and that's where the football comes in again. Yeah. No, it's no campaigning. I mean, yeah, of course they do stuff like that, just on a very much smaller scale. I would say. I think everything here in Europe is smaller than over there. So they do the same things, but they have smaller rooms, and it's not. There's just less patriotism. There's just like, okay, we have this country. Let's do something with it.
Let's not screw it up.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Let's get this right. Mm-hmm. So when people go to vote, because I read that there's an app that Germans are using where you put in all of your like your issues that are important to you, and then it tells you who to vote for.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What's the main way that people decide who to vote for? Because us, it's like we're like, oh, I'd like. This is quite literally what American people will say. They go, I like George Bush because he's someone I could have a beer with. And so that's why they vote for him, because they could have a beer with him. Right, Kaplan? I'm not making this up.
I mean, that is, they say that undecided voters, those like few people who are not a member party, like the likability factor. It's always like, like Trump.
They like him. Or like Bill Clinton got elected because he played a saxophone on the Jay Leno show.
Yeah,
people were like, wow, he's cool. And he wore sunglasses. They're like, he's cool. Let's vote for him.
But this Olaf Scholz guy does not sound like a guy you're having a beer with, so I don't know.
He doesn't play saxophone.
He don't play a saxophone. No. So I don't know how he's
I think he never does anything.
And
I don't think he has friends.
Oh, sorry. So what's it like? I'll let you speak. Apologies.
No, I just, I don't know really. I think that this app is actually quite helpful. I did it too. It's turns out I'm a communist. Yay.
There you go.
So yeah, sometimes you're surprised. Sometimes you do it and it's like, didn't know that about myself. But okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but also I was also surprised that the questions they ask are often very specific to a point where you feel like, I need to look this up. I have no idea about this topic. I don't know what my opinion is on this. and also sometimes it gets just way too complicated where you're like, yeah, I could see both sides of it. So I don't know. I'm not a politician, unfortunately, or fortunately. And then in that app, they didn't have like the most pressing things. They didn't even ask for like Corona politics or the Afghanistan situation or.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, oh, don't even want to know. Okay.
The app was made 3 years ago, or so they don't.
They can't update it.
They didn't update it. It's too much work. Yeah.
You got to get the new update. So what might they ask then? Like, oh, what do you do at a stop sign? Should you stop or go? Like, what type of stuff are they asking?
Do you plagiarize when you write a paper? No.
In your autobiography?
Do you like jaywalking? No, they ask stuff like, are you for or against the Nord Stream 2 pipeline?
Oh,
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
I'm for it. I'm for other countries ruining the environment, not us. So.
Yeah. And of course, what else was there? Text stuff. Of course, easy stuff like, should we text the rich? Yeah, we should. But then, so if you're married, but you have 2 kids from your previous marriage, and now you have another kid from the next one, should that mean tax reductions for the previous marriage?
Whoa.
I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I've never been in this situation.
A divorce tax?
Fall asleep.
You get benefits from being divorced or having second wife
Fall
tax?
asleep halfway through that question. What about celebrity endorsements? Do they do that? Like here in the U.S., if you want to win, you got to have like Jennifer Lopez say that you're the best.
In Germany, it's David Hasselhoff. They need David Hasselhoff.
Is it David Hasselhoff? Get in my car.
Are you aware of this this thing that he actually believes that he was the cause for the fall of the Berlin Wall?
Yes, I think I did read that somewhere.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah,
I also
man.
heard it
That's
was the
super funny.
band. It was the band, like, was it the Scorpions?
Uh-huh.
One of those 80s metal bands, 80s rock bands, took down
Yeah.
the Berlin Wall or something?
Yeah.
But
David
I think it was
Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff. So, yeah, does that happen? Do you get celebrity?
Boris
Does
Becker?
it matter? Well, people say, I'll vote for that person if, Chris Rock votes for that person, or whatever celebrity. I don't know. Jennifer
I'm
Lopez
so-
and Chris Rock.
Those are
the
your
only
best
two I could
references.
think of.
Jennifer Lopez and Chris Rock.
I am sorry to say this, but you're such a weird country. It's unbelievable.
You really teeter up there, Eddie.
I'm not making this up. These are real things.
Well, people
right?
say that
I
celebrities
know.
do events for people. I don't know if it makes people I don't know who these
your
people
old
are.
boss is a big one. So Robert De Niro, he was a big celebrity endorser.
Yeah, he likes
right?
to. They go to
Amy Schumer. That's what ended her career.
But then Scott Baio endorsed Trump. That was a big one.
You don't even know if you know who that is. He's like a low-level American
comment, yeah.
celebrity.
Oh, okay. I see.
So is that a big deal in Germany?
Not
Are
at
people
all.
waiting to find out
No.
who you are voting for so they can decide who to vote for?
No, I mean there was a little bit of a scandal lately with one guy who got together a bunch of actors and actresses to do like a bit of a protest video against the corona management of the government. So everybody was supposed to satirically say something into the camera, and they put it together, made a video out of it, and it was a huge outrage because it was very tasteless. And they were going for satire, but there was, for example, there's this one actor who was saying, thanks to the government, I now get to hit my children more often. And because it was about like the domestic violence being on the rise during the lockdown. But it was all done so poorly so it was super awkward, and everybody was really upset with it. And then it turned out that the guy who actually got all of these people together was a huge anti-vaxxer, and he also was a big part of a party that is now running. That's basically the anti-vaxxer party, you could say. And that is also saying
That makes
that
me
the
feel
virus
better.
isn't real. Yeah. Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because you have those people too. I'm glad we're
Yeah.
not. It's not just
Yeah,
us.
every country has crazy people. We're not. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
that's
so
the
I
point
can't.
of this
So if I
whole
hit my
podcast.
kids, that means I'm an anti-vaxxer. Let me just no.
I guess that's what those mean.
Because you're locked in the house.
I don't
guess you're
understand.
saying.
Cap, we had this when the coronavirus started last year, and everyone was in. We did like a 2-week lockdown in America.
And it
and
was
everyone's
longer.
Like,
You
That's
always say
enough.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. It
In
was
New York,
2
it was
weeks
longer.
to stop the spread. In New York was longer, but
Yeah.
I was in Virginia at that time.
Oh, right.
So a lot of states for 2 weeks. They did. All the celebrities in America did this like video where they sang "We Are the World." That was supposed to be like, we'll put a video online of us singing, and then that will heal everyone, and then the virus will be over. And
Well, that's to make
it
you
ended
feel
up,
good.
everyone just made fun of it because it was like totally out of touch, made no sense. It didn't work. But Cap, we got to pause real quick
All right.
for an ad break. So, everybody, for $20 a month, this is how we do ads, Sonia, because we got sick of waiting for these companies to like advertise with us.
Well,
So we said, screw the companies. What's happening with us? If our Patreon subscribers give us $20 a month, they get one ad per month on this show.
Yeah, we can be bought by only by our people. We don't get bought by big companies, big corporations.
No, only by humans. And we have a price. It's $20 a month.
$20.
And we'll say whatever you want for 45 seconds to a minute, something like that. So,
What do we got
this
to?
week, this show is brought to you by the great Will Prechuck. Will P. is a proud supporter of Royal Union St. Gilloise.
Okay.
Quiet streets of southern Brussels have. I think that's a football team. That's
Oh,
a soccer team. We
okay.
would say. The quiet streets of southern Brussels have never been more alive now that USG has triumphantly returned to the top flight of Belgian football after 50 long years in the minors.
Wow.
Good
Congrats.
Oh my
Royal.
gosh. They premiered last month by defeating their 100-year rival Anderlecht in the season opener, and now they stand at number 1 in the league overall.
Top of the
Let's
table.
go, Royal in the table. Yes, join and celebrate with. This is a long. My God, this is a long ad.
It's 30. He's paying us $31 though. So
That's true. Join and celebrate with the dedicated fans as they return to the scenic Stade Joseph Marion in gorgeous Parc des Forêts,
wow.
Brussels, and watch as they continue their return to stardom. Catch them on ESPN Plus from time to time or through other means. From fans at home and far away, à l'aise, le union à l'aise,
Wow.
says the great Will Prechuck. How about that?
Well, I know which team I'm gonna take in FIFA, the video game now, and play a whole season. I'm gonna win a championship and picture Will cheering me on in the stands. So good.
There you go. Also, one more ad before we move on. We are the members of the World's Smartest Podcast Network.
We are.
Of course, that is us. That is Professor Andrew Heaton, and it is Dr. Andrea Jones-Roy. Andrew Heaton has the Political Orphanage podcast, and Andrea Jones-Roy has a brand new podcast called Majoring in Everything. Subscribe to that with Andrea Jones-Roy on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you were subscribed to her old show, it's the exact same feed. So I think we're both going to be on there soon.
Oh yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna talk about.
The Majoring in Everything. That's her job to
Oh
figure
yeah,
out what you
you're
talk
right.
about,
What am I
isn't it?
producing for? I'm just gonna show
Yeah,
up. and-
you chill, you speak. That's all good to go. All right. Now a word from our local sponsors. All right, we're back. Thank you very much, local sponsors. We always love having you with us.
Love the local guys.
I wonder what our local sponsor will be, because they put in these ads, Sonia, and they're different no matter
Where you
depending on
download
where
it.
you live in the world. I wonder what our
Oh,
German.
I see.
I wonder what's going to be in
Or
Germany
in Austria.
or in Austria.
Yeah.
Here
Well,
they tell
I'll
us.
let you know.
Yeah, let us know. Here they tell us to like go skiing in Vermont, which is close. But when I'm in
Okay.
California, they say go skiing in Lake Tahoe. Mostly it's about
So
skiing.
they're gonna say go skiing in.
interesting.
Where's the closest ski place?
The
The
Alps.
Alps, right? Yeah. Or the.
I don't know. What's
Yeah, probably. No, I was just thinking because I have a friend who has a podcast. It's a true crime podcast, and she got a brand deal with a sex toy company.
Oh!
We
Well, we
I mean,
might
we could
too.
do that.
We don't know until they drop in the ad. It could be anything. so.
It was, yeah, and it can be so inappropriate. I mean, with your topic, I think it's all gonna be fine. But she just has a lot of like femicide and rape cases that she's discussing on that podcast.
Oh, and then a sex toy.
And now sex toys.
Hey, everybody has a price, as we say. You know? Whatever you do, you got to make a living in this world. I have a what do people in Austria think of my former governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, who's he into?
Well, what do we think of him? I think people make a lot of fun of him.
We love him in California. I'm from California. I'm from Sacramento, which is where he governed when he was our governor. And actually, at the beginning of this podcast and every podcast, we have Arnold Schwarzenegger on.
Oh, we do.
What series?
Saying, when I go to Sacramento, I will pump up Sacramento. That's a famous quote.
Oh, that is his voice, right? Yeah,
Yes.
I was wondering. I was like, I've heard that before. Yeah,
And it's because
okay,
I'm
now I
from
get it.
Sacramento, so we put it in there. It's the first time any celebrity, and last time, they've ever mentioned Sacramento. So we had to get the clip.
Sweet.
So, yeah,
No,
what do people
I-
think of think of
It is not a point of pride
he did become
anymore.
governor. That's like a pretty big feat, you know?
And a huge
Well,
movie star.
Yeah, definitely. My ex-boyfriend actually is from the area where he used to live, or where he grew up in Styria in Austria, and he knew his neighbor, and no, his cousin. So he was his cousin's neighbor, basically. And this cousin of Arnold Schwarzenegger had a business card saying Paul Schwarzenegger, and below it said cousin of Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was the only thing that brought him close to fame in his life. So
That's the new goal for all of us to get so famous that our cousins' business cards say "cousin of us" on their name.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and he was like a bodybuilding champion. I mean, the guy did it all.
Did it all.
Yeah.
Good person to be a cousin
Yeah,
with.
absolutely.
Is his cousin ripped at least, or no?
I have no idea. We never met. Unfortunately. I would have been curious.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So how do you pick? Well, I guess no. Let's go here. So what happens if it looks so like the Green Party is in third place right now, right? The lady with the lady who
The plagiarist.
The plagiarist.
Yes, the plagiarist.
Pla-
Let's just say it how it is. Yeah.
The plagiarist is in third place. But from what I've read, they're probably going to get into government because either one of the top two parties will have to like form a union with them, a coalition, to be able to get in. So it's almost better to be in third place than it is to be in first or second, right?
It might be, actually. So, yeah, I also have a feeling that they're definitely going to be in the government. Yeah, and it's just a question of who they're going to be with. So it might be the traffic light, which I don't hope for.
The
But
traffic light is the
Wait,
conservative.
explain the traffic light. What parties is that?
the traffic light will be the Social Democrats, the Green Party, and the Liberal Party. Now, liberal in Germany means something completely different than it means over there with you guys. I mean, it comes from the same thing, but it sort of went like this. So this party, which used to be kind of cool 20, 30 years ago, is now basically at below 5% all the time, and they only take care of like really, really rich people. It's basically economic liberalism. So
The Libertarian Party, sort of.
We would say
Yeah.
libertarian. Yeah.
Sort
oh,
of.
right, is that libertarian? Okay,
Kind of.
I see. Yeah.
Well, kind of. Libertarian is they want the government out of everything. So that means don't tax me.
Yeah.
Minimal
But
government,
also
yeah.
it means like I get to have a gun, but also it means I get to have an abortion. So they're like,
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Because I always thought that libertarian was sort of more on the far right side.
On economics, maybe, but not on social. Very liberal, even to the left.
social,
of
very
most-
liberal.
Yeah, pro-gay
Oh,
marriage.
interesting.
no
pro-
government.
Just
It's
like-
get out of my way, government.
It's
So
like-
that can be good and
okay.
bad. depending
It's
upon
slightly
what
more
topic.
responsible version of anarchist. It's the more like it's anarchist, but wearing like a Brooks Brothers suit. But yeah,
It's anarchists who went to college.
exactly. Took some economics classes.
Okay, so the liberal, are they red in this?
They're yellow.
They're the yellow.
They're yellow.
because they're caution.
Yeah.
They're the. They're trying, I'm trying to do the light. Red is stop sign. It's traffic. So
And then what is it? So if they get in,
how would they have a
just play it
coalition?
out.
So wild. Those three.
Is that the most probable scenario?
I have no idea at the moment what the percentages are. So yeah, I'm not an expert on that, I'm afraid.
And what'll it mean? Because Germany has played a big role in Europe, right? And the EU, obviously, right? You're like the number one country in the EU.
Yeah.
First place in the EU.
Especially now that England's gone, you don't have any competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
So is there anyone does that play into this election at all? Are some people like, we need to be more in like controlling in Europe, or other people like, we need to pull back and be less? Or does everyone think the same?
As a country, just our responsibility in the European Union, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's the AfD party. I don't know if you've heard of those. They are for the Brexit. One might call it
Jexit.
Oh.
Gexit.
Jexit.
the
German
Brexit. Yeah.
Jexodus.
Yeah. Exodus. Yeah.
Jexodus.
No, there are. Honestly, you could pretty much say they're the Nazi party. They're beyond far right.
Okay.
Like, it's
Nazis
really
not allowed,
terrible.
right?
And-
They're not allowed to have a Nazi party legally, right? You can't call yourself that.
Of course
but you-
not.
Right. But you can call
have authority.
yourself.
We can. You can't.
Well, we can. We have free speech. But yeah.
We have Nazi parties in America.
Right.
Yeah, it's but of course in Germany a lot of things aren't allowed anymore, like certain symbolism and stuff, and so of course they're gonna avoid that, but yeah, they are very, very much on the right, and they want Germany to leave the European Union, and which is what is very depressing about that party, because there's always been far right parties in Germany, but they were always really small. And now they are in some state governments, so it's super depressing. And they also stole a lot of voters from the far left side, which is interesting, because there was a lot of people that were just, poor working class, and they felt disenfranchised, and then thought, those communists haven't been doing much for us, or socialists, or whatever. Let's just move on to the complete other side and say, everything is the foreigners' fault, so we're going to go with those now.
Well, both sides don't like free trade, as much, in internationalism, I guess. So there is a similarity where they kind of meet. On that. So that's interesting.
Same. I mean, it's same with here, right?
Yeah.
There was
exactly.
The far right and the far left. Yeah, they both want to pull back from the world, and they both want to, support local, buy local.
Yeah, German
It's the
first.
Nazi
You can't. Yeah. Right.
Buy local.
And what is it? So, what would it mean for the world, one way or the other, if say Merkel's former party wins, or the boring guy wins?
Honestly,
Olaf.
I don't know what it would. I feel like these people are often so interchangeable.
Okay, so they're too similar, maybe.
Yeah. I think everybody really wants to represent the largest number of the population, no matter what. And they just very much move away from their own ideologies, and so it's basically, I don't really know if it would make a huge difference.
I think
But
that's
I might
good.
be wrong.
That's a win for us, right?
All about us.
Germany's been fine so far, so just keep going.
Just keep Germany fine.
Just keep Germany fine. That should be the slogan.
New slogan. Not great.
Keep Germany,
fine.
make America great again.
They keep Germany fine.
Okay.
Keep them okay.
keep-
Just keep going. Just keep doing what you're doing, Germany.
Yeah.
What about for you? Comedy-wise, you perform in English and German, right?
Yes, that's true.
And do you find those scenes different, very different? The German comedy scene, the German language comedy scene. Sorry, the English language.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. That's a huge topic. I think that
We have 3 minutes left. No, okay.
cool.
no. We can go for as long as.
So yeah, the big thing in Austria and Germany is the old cabaret tradition. So that has been around for really long, and then over the past 10, 20 years, comedy has now become a thing. And as I already said, you can't really say where the differences are. It's a bit, but of course both sides are going to talk shit about the other side. And for a lot of people, when they hear the word comedy in in Germany or Austria, they think of like really superficial dick jokes, and they don't see anything critical or satirical because they attribute that to cabaret. So, but yeah, the comedy scene is definitely on the rise here, and of course there are a lot of expats, a lot of people from the States or from England, and yeah, they put up a really nice English stand-up scene here, and it's super fun. Yeah.
And do you what's the trajectory of a comedian in Austria or Germany? Meaning, is it to get a TV sitcom, or to put out comedy specials, or to host a late night show? Is it where does the career go? I don't mean for you specifically. I mean, how does it work?
Well, I hope for me.
Oh, hope.
Yeah, what do you mean?
No, really. I mean, all of that, of course. Of course, it's also never going to be the chances that you guys have there with you are good at your job, you now have world fame, and
that's us.
That's us.
If we're really good at our jobs, we're still in Austria.
Oh, because of language, probably, right?
Because the language, of course, and then also, just pop culture. Because we just take everything from the States, and you also wash over us with everything.
We send our Hasselhoffs over there, and
yeah. Yeah.
You send us Schwarzenegger, we send
right?
you Hasselhoff.
Is he?
I heard he's Canadian.
Oh, is
David
he?
Hasselhoff. Yeah.
Big scandal. He hides it well.
Big scandal. We don't know. We don't know. It's hard to tell. These Canadians walk amongst us.
Sneak in. They walk amongst us. They're
sneak in.
Yeah.
And
you
I've
can't
had
tell
with
it
us.
from the accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't. They can. What do you change a boot to a bout, and then all of a sudden they're from the United States? That's the only difference.
He went to a voice coach,
really?
and yeah.
There's one word they pronounce differently. So that's
Just that one. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's tour. I see you're touring though with your show, right?
Yes. I'm pretty much always touring because, if I were just doing this in Vienna, that would be a little bit too small at a certain point, and I'm not that famous yet that I can just fill a huge room every night or not even once a week. And also, I don't know what it's like. I'd be interested actually what it's like in the States right now, because we suffer from very, very receding ticket sales, and people aren't really going to theaters anymore. And it's super depressing because everybody apparently is afraid of the fourth wave. And is that the same for you guys?
Not Turner Sparks shows. They're sold out.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll say this: the quick answer is no.
People are buying up. Yeah.
But it's not because we don't have coronavirus. We most certainly do have it. There's 150,000 new cases every day in the United States. But people who are vaccinated have kind of just decided that I can't wait. It's like, what are we going to do? Like in America, they don't force you to get vaccinated, right? Mm-hmm. And there's probably 20% of Americans who will never get vaccinated, no matter what.
Right.
And
That's
so
sad.
what's the question? Then do you just wait forever until those 20% of people, or do you go back to your life saying, hey, I'm protected as much as I can be protected, and let's go back? Otherwise you're waiting forever and ever and ever. So I think a lot of people, and in New York State, like I said, you have to be vaccinated to go to comedy clubs, including a lot of other events. So I noticed that once they put that vaccination thing in for New York State, the ticket sales went up.
Well, I also think that there's people who are nervous who aren't going to do it, but they're made up for by people who are just so dying to get out of the house. So they're just dying to do things again. So there's just so much demand for all sorts of sports and concerts and everything right now. Shows.
Yeah, if you look at football games, they're all sold out, and it's state by state in terms of what what the rules are. But overall, I think people are just like, we're moving on. Enough.
That's really cool. I wish I was there.
Yeah. Hey.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a combination of the people who never are going to get vaccinated. They never stop going out to begin with.
That's true.
They're it's fake. It doesn't exist. Blah blah. And then now the people who are vaccinated, which is about 70%. Or no, what is it? 70% of adults have at least one shot in the United States now.
Maybe not quite, but
it's about that number. Yeah.
Okay.
It's 60% have one shot. 60% have. Oh no, I'm wrong. You're right, Kat.
It's like 65.
65%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 65% have at least one shot. So those people,
pretty sad.
that's like 200 million people. So they're just like, we're moving on. We're not waiting for you people. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So you guys, I see it's a little tough to sell tickets. And what about the German language scene? Do you see that there's more opportunity there than the English language scene within Germany and Austria?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in Germany, you have a complete infrastructure already, and of course, you can get TV shows, and of course, I mean, it's because it's the language they speak here.
Yeah.
All the English stuff is very much. It always stays in a bit of a tiny bubble.
Sure.
And it's
Yeah.
a lot of shows in bars. There aren't any actual comedy clubs. I think that you did comedy in China, right?
Yeah, with Pascal Hauser. That's how actually we got connected. It's through my friend Pascal.
Shout out.
I started a club in Shanghai. We opened a club in Shanghai.
Oh, you opened a club there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, which is not there anymore. It was there for about 8 years. But we started in bars like that. There was no scene at all. There was no English or Chinese language scene. So we just started an English language scene, and then a Chinese language scene kind of came out of our English scene with Chinese people who wanted to do it in Chinese, and it kind of took off.
Okay.
Took off like that, and they're doing very well. What about making Germans laugh? Making Germans laugh is very difficult.
Maybe for you.
No, making Austrians laugh is very difficult.
Is it? Is it more difficult than
Yes.
Germans?
Yes.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, and I know you shouldn't think that, but yeah, because of course the Germans have the reputation for being very uptight, but no, not at all. From comedy, I can say that in Germany it's so much easier.
Wow.
What are Austrians like?
Germans come to our club in Shanghai, and they would always be the toughest. They would be the hardest to make laugh, but then after the show, they'd be the ones, they would come up to you and be like, that was great, that was great. Ooh, we loved it.
Didn't laugh.
But they wouldn't laugh. I'd be like, okay, well, maybe just laugh then at the show if you think it's so great. You know, that would help.
Oh God, I know people like that too, and they're like, it's always the people in the front row, and they're just sitting there like.
Yes,
And
turn
then
face.
they walk up to you afterwards and say, "This was the best thing I've seen in years."
Yeah, and you're like, how about you act like that?
It's a pride.
I've actually had a friend. She also did some comedy for a while, and there was a guy at her solo show who said he wanted to film the whole thing, but he didn't say it to her. He said it to everybody in the audience and asked them to not laugh because that would be bad for the filming.
What?
Oh my, what?
What is it?
Yeah.
We don't want laughter.
Did
on
he
there.
go to jail? That should
And
be illegal.
she's just doing 1.5 hours to complete silence.
Oh,
That's hard. Yeah.
that's like an act of terrorism.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the kind of thing that happens here.
Oh my gosh.
And
Well, do you ever have you gotten outside of Germany, Austria yet with the English language comedy?
Yeah, I did shows in Hungary, Paris, Rome.
Cool.
Yeah, so Slovakia, which is always real fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you ever come to New York, let us know.
Oh, I sure will.
Yeah, I got a show here you can do. So anytime
Cool.
you come.
Well, if you ever come here and
Yeah.
you want to learn some German,
you want to make Germans not laugh and but enjoy the show. She'll help.
yeah.
I'll go bomb in Germany. Why not? Sounds good. Sonia Picard, thank you so much for doing the show.
Thank you, guys.
I think the answer we got out of this, Kaplan, is that either side, they're kind of the same. So we should relax.
There's not going to be partying in the streets no matter who wins, it sounds like. Or who. I mean, the election's in a couple weeks, and then how long does it take for the coalition to form? Do we know when we'll get an answer?
I have no idea. I think, a couple of weeks usually,
Okay,
maybe
so-
2 weeks. Yeah.
And then can they stay as long as they want, like Merkel did?
There's elections every 4 years, but you can go on forever, basically.
Wow. All right.
You know what's an important answer I did get? Because it came through from a publicist. David Hasselhoff's people want us to tell everybody he's American. Born in America. Not a Canadian. Fake news. Born in Maryland. So that we did solve one thing here.
He does seem Canadian though, because he's like a little bit off.
A little off, a little funky.
You know,
Maybe he spent some time there.
slightly off. That's it. Sonia Picard, thank you for doing the show. Everybody, check her out. Check her out online. And you have videos all over on YouTube, so our American audience can check them out. You have English language stuff up too that I found.
Yeah,
Very funny.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you so
Cap.
much.
That's it. You got to go to Rosh Hashanah
Everybody
party.
have a sweet new year. I'm going to put my tie on and race to the synagogue. I'm going to get in the back row and pretend like the shofar is going to be blowing. I'm going to be nodding. I'm going to get in the middle so it looks like I've been there the whole time. I'll be sweating and everything, so I'm going to make up for it. So everyone have a happy new year. Sweet
And
new
what
year.
should we do?
Lashana Tova. Oh, wait. Get lost.
Get lost.